So what we're looking at are the conversions. The conversions, so when you are converting from one unit to another, you remember the base units, we talked about them. There were 7 base units. There were also derived units. So now the idea is that you should be able to convert from one unit to another. The first one which was there was the prefix. So guys, a prefix is a word that comes before another word to emphasize meaning. E.g., if you say Jacqueline, that word Jacqueline means maybe that's Jacqueline, she's beautiful. You want to describe her like that. So the ka is a prefix. So in science, we have those prefixes. There are so many prefixes. Why are prefixes important? Because they help us to report on different scales the units that we have. E.g., I'm sure you know, if you remember, so guys, you cannot measure distance from here to Kabwe and the thickness of a spoon on the same scale. It can't make sense. Nangu bakusanga mu football pitch na ruler, and no, I want to know the distance from each goal to another goal post. People will know that this is a mad scientist. Why? Because there are different things that you can use. That ruler becomes effective if you're measuring maybe the length of the book or the breadth. And then if you want to measure the pitch, there are tapes that are that long, and you realize that those tapes will give you units in a different unit, e.g. kilometer. So now the kilo is the prefix. So the centi and the midi on your meter rule are also prefixes. So now we have so many prefixes. Why? Because there are so many distances to measure. E.g., if you want to measure the distance from here to the moon, those people in NASA, they have their own scales. They have their own scales. But then for us in science, for our physics and our chemistry, we have a limit of the prefixes. We use, because it's applied, we don't want to bombard you with things that are not in the textbooks. So the units that are there, the maximum that we can go is the tera. Tera is 10 to the power 12, positive 12. And the smallest we can go is the pico, which is 10 to the power negative 12. So meaning if you see someone say 1 kilometer, 1 km, the rest will see a K, bamba nokimba alphabet. But you, that K has a numerical connotation. The K is kilo, which is 10 to the power 3 or 1000. I'm sure it's been a while that you've been doing that conversion where you say 1000 meters is 1 kilometer, 1000 grams is 1 kilogram. That's the reason why it is like that. The K is kilo. So even when someone says 2 centimeter, but you, what you see there is a numerical value. To say centi, centi is 10 to the power negative 2. So that is the case. So now, the job for conversions, guys, is that we must be able to convert from one unit to another. So to convert from one unit to another, you multiply by a conversion factor, which is a ratio. So guys, when you see something like ratio, it means two things are dividing. So a conversion factor contains things that are equal. E.g., I'm sure you've seen your meter rule. You'll see like something like this. Something like this. 10 millimeter and 1 centimeter. So 10 millimeter over 1 centimeter. 10 millimeter and 1 centimeter are numerically the same. When you divide those two, they should give you 1. Why? Because 10 millimeter and 1 centimeter are equal. So something like that contains two different units, and the values that are there are numerically equal. That is the conversion factor. So the conversion factor is such that whatever value you are multiplying, so if you are converting from centimeter to millimeter, you multiply it by that conversion factor times millimeter over centimeter, so that the centimeter cancels. So that is the aspect. So you must understand these things. They are there in your book. But me, what I want, so these are the conversion factors. That's why if you've seen, I've written 1 meter over 100 centimeters. I'm sure you know that 1 meter and 100 centimeters are the same. So those are the things that are there. 2 kilometers and 2,000 meters, they're also the same. That's a conversion factor. So those are the conversion factors that we come across. But what I'm interested in is the conversion of the prefixes. I'm sure I've put them there. So if you're converting, say, you can have a pen and use it. If you're converting, say, 8 kilometer to centimeter, 8 kilometer, what value in centimeter is numerically equal to 8 kilometer? Then what you do there, as you can see, the kilo and the centi, these ones, guys, on the prefixes, I want to explain. The prefixes are powers of 10. That's why the first thing that you must be good at is to write in standard D form. You must be able to write in standard form. So this one, 8 kilo, and you are converting to centi. So you write 8 times 10. The 10 is the base. Remember that even kilo is 10 to the power 3, then centi is 10 to the power -2. So you write, say, 8 times 10 to the power, the odd prefix. Which one is the odd? The one you're converting from, minus the new, the one you're converting to, and then you put the new unit, which is the centimeter. So then you say 8 times 10, the odd prefix is kilo, which is K. So you put 3 minus 2. Then there it means you get 8 times 10 to the power 5 centimeter. These things that I've put here, they are just, what can I say? They are the easy way out that I've come to know myself. If you have something better that you've been using, some of you, aba science, use it. Mayumva, guys, eh? Are we getting me, guys? Are we getting each other?
Yes.
So that's why I put when you checked there, you are even lucky. That's why I remember that even the imposter when I'm on web mama those night school is not easy. It's not easy. So abane na chamba fyo kufunda mwenyewe bigira kwa notes limo mwaya mona. So one, whatever errors that I had with the guys in the morning, with you, it means I'll refine and explain well. So that's how it is. So if you're converting, say, you can have the pen with you. 5 decihertz to megahertz. It can even be decimeter to megameter, or decicoulomb to megacoulomb. Because some of you students are difficult. But some grandats are no, bakandro bat fundile meter, yellow baleta amahertz. Those are things you say. So now 5 decihertz to megahertz is 5. The first thing you say is times 10. Times 10. Then you remember the deci is what you're converting from, so it's odd. So it's -1 minus C, mega is 6. Positive 6. So it's just -1 minus 6. If you saw on the cent, you said minus, because cent was negative. It's -2. So it will just be 5 times 10 to the power -1 minus 6 megahertz. Then -1 minus 6, you know your algebra. If you don't know algebra, guys, ila pia science, ila pia kwa mwana na much kilesti. But I'll go about algebra. So I'm going to just see about nieces, my brothers, see them. Minus 2 minus 8 nishani it's negative 10 and t so those are the things. So the thing is, so those are things. You're converting 4 microgram to nanogram. 4 microgram. Don't worry about these things. Whatever it is that I'm using to explain here, I'll still upload this to you because you guys, I care about you. So need pa first diagnostic. Why? Because I don't want to talk from the outside around the road. And I know that this platform from definitely bring us on. But when you go there, you will realize that these things are there. So if you have 4 microgram to nanogram, it's micro is negative 6, nano is negative 9. So you say minus 6 minus minus 9. Remember, minus minus is plus. So you get 4 times 10 to the power 3 nanogram. So these are the simple things that are there. Don't go bother yourself studying the British units, the pound, the foot. Those ones must always be given to you. They must always be given to you as you are solving. Remember, guys, So what I want is if there's a question from anyone, so that I can just conclude. Then we'll go pananpada to shepo. There are so many questions. The more questions you go through, the better for you because you perfect your craft. But when you go through 5, then you see you've understood, move to the next thing. Because there's that complacence where you start solving the same things. Make sure whatever you understand, is fish, but where could you Chimonga wasambira diploma. Wako at the diploma. Tete we say na kudi imbi diploma na imbi diploma no. The next is you go to the degree. So those are the things. So when you understand some things, try by all means to practice. When you just solve, I think 4, 5, you understand, you move to the next topic. Because conversions are always with us, we'll always be converting. That's the reason why the foundation is very important. So the conversion is like Trebika slab, Trebika fiancé. So that when you start something else, you understand better. Any questions? Any questions, guys?
Sir.
Yes. Mr. Cleophas.
Looking at those. Cleophas.
Oh, Cleophas. Yes, sir.
Looking at that formula just from using.
Yes.
I can say we are converting from the biggest unit to the smaller unit. That is from kilometers to centimeters.
Yes.
Now supposing want to convert from centimeters to kilometers, can we still apply that method?
Yes. Except the cent now, the cent
Yes.
was the new unit, isn't it? So the cent, which is -2, will be the odd unit, and the kilo, which is -3, which is 3, will be the new unit. So it will be -2 minus 3. So here where there's +5, there will now be a -5. So this formula is for everything. It's not just about you, or big and small, everything. Whatever it is, then you apply. Is that okay, yes, Mr. Moyo?
Yes, sir. It's very much okay.
Okay. What other question is there? What other question is there? Either your mic, you have just unmuted yourself, but you're not asking anything. Am I banned?
Yes, sir.
Mudibe funso idi onse. Van Vega.
Sir, not really. I'm not understood on converting from milligrams to what is. I don't know if it's kilograms.
Or micro, but the thing is the same formula. I've just used it differently. So if you're converting from microgram to nanogram, this is the one you're asking, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Micro, when you see your conversion table, micro is -6.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Nano is -9. So continue to see those things. So micro is -6, nano is -9. Micro is a Greek letter. It's a Greek letter like mu, pi, those Greek letters. So we used it. So that's how it is. So the micro is -6, which is you're converting from microgram to nanogram. So your old unit is the micro. The new unit is the nano. Are you getting? So you write
Yes, sir.
10 to the power, micro is -6, minus, since nano is also negative, so it's -9. That's why it becomes -6 plus 9, and it gives you 4,000 nanograms. Are we there?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yes, guys. Some more questions?
Sir, I have got a question.
Yes.
I wanted to ask.
Jackie. Yeah. Yes, Jackie.
Yes, I wanted to ask that should we always subtract the powers? You cannot be given a situation whereby you're supposed to add. It is always minus.
It's minus. The formula is as a minus, as you've seen. But the algebra is forcing us to add at some point. Like the last example we're from looking at. When you do minus minus, it becomes z plus.
Oh, okay.
But the formula just has a minus.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask about the formula. If it's always minus.
No, it's always minus. It's better.
Okay.
It's minus. This thing, guys, is a shortcut. I'm sure you know shortcuts, isn't it? It's a shortcut to make your life easier. So I think anavika pona nka 10 marks apa yo amba fina kuseshe desk kunsansa. Mwemwe? No ni fish be fini minus fair kubika points chafu. What else? What else, guys? What other question is there? So have you checked? I want you to go past that master. I have another question.
It's,
Cleopas.
yes, sir.
Hmm.
You talked about not worrying about the pounds and food. Maybe you can just clarify on that one. You said always would be given.
By worry I meant kulaba abantu amu kuswatira tonze tule kwatinga makaya kukwizia ku wants to be a millionaire. Swatira tonze tule tumana ni pounds ingisha mutwe. Those ones will always be given to you in the question. That's what I'm trying to say. You'll be taught to say 1 pound is equal to this is kg. 1 kg is equal to this is pounds. So don't bother so much. What you must be worried about is the concept.
Yes, sir.
Worried about is what, Tim? The concept.